Today, for the very first time, I will be listening to 21 Pilots' album, Blurryface. Okay, so I'm not exactly quite sure what to say here, but I just got done about 2 hours ago now recording this video, and in what appears to be the exact same thing that happened with our Beatles video, I lost a majority of the recording. The video and the audio are gone. And I cannot tell you how devastated I am at this. The video was great. I loved this album. I think it's probably the best 21 Pilots video that I have recorded. And so I am so sorry that this happened. It's not fair and it's not right that this happened, but we're going to do what we can. So, after I got done recording this, I hit stop recording on my OBS and it didn't stop recording. And I knew that that was bad because we had this happen before. And I did what I looked online at the time when this happened with us listening to the Beatles album, Let It Be. We lost the entirety of that reaction, the entire reaction part of the video. And when I looked online before when that happened, I saw that you're supposed to select MKV as your file format that you're recording to so that if this does happen, it doesn't lose the file. Well, I did that, and that's how I was recording this video, and it happened again, and it only saved 26 minutes of the video. I am so sorry that this happened. After I saw that this happened, I tried for an hour to recover the file, figure it out, look at the log. Nothing helped. The file's gone. Most of the file's gone. I have 26 minutes. But it's just audio. So then I just had to leave. I got in my car and drove around for a while, which probably wasn't the best, safest thing to do, but it's fine. And so it's 2 hours now, and I was going to come down here and try to fix this, but doesn't look like I can fix it. And so what my plan is to do is to... Okay, so here's what we have. We have the first 30 minutes and the first two songs, or the first song, I think, on a file that before it stopped working. That time I saw it, and it just said error encoding problem or whatever, which I get that sometimes when I'm recording. And I just said, okay. And I checked the file. It's fine. That whole file is there. So I'm going to play that for you in a little bit. That's me doing the intro of the video leading into listening to the first song, I think. And then... this just makes me sick. Then I have the next 26 minutes of me listening to the first... Basically, I have everything up to the first 5 songs. However, I only have the audio from this listening to tracks 2 through 5. So what my plan is for this is I am going to bounce down the audio that I have recorded with the music and my reaction. And we are going to sit here together and listen to myself listening to the first 5 songs. and I will, because there's no video to it. So I'll just sit here and listen with you so you have a video to see. I will tell you right now that one of those first 5 songs is my all-time, well, I don't know all-time, my favorite 21 Pilots song. And if it wasn't for this one moment in the video, and it was this song, God, I can't even think of the song titles right now. It was the song Fairly Local. When I heard that song, I freaked out, and it was so awesome because I loved the song so much, and I like the way that I reacted to it. So for that reason, pretty much that reason only, we are going to listen to me listening to the first 5 songs on this album. The first song has video with it, and then after that, it only is audio. And then I will listen to the rest of the album for a second time and try to tell you how I felt about it. This is exactly what we had to do with the Beatles video. So something is wrong with my computer and my setup, and I cannot record anything else until I get this figured out. But I want you to know, this is why I'm recording this now, because I'm going to have to record that tomorrow. At the beginning of this video, I say that I had a bad day today, and that I was recording this video because I knew it was going to be a great album, and it was going to be a good time, something that I could do to cheer myself up. And in fact, the exact opposite of that happened. And so this is devastating to me, and I am so sorry, and I know you guys will understand, but this is literally the one type of content that I can make that I cannot film a second time. This is literally the point of this, is for you to see and hear my first time listening to this music, and you will not be able to do that now. I have lost the chance forever to show you my first reaction to this album, and it's not fair, and it just sucks. It sucks so bad, and I feel sick. And all I can do is say that I'm sorry, and I hope that I sleep tonight if I can at all, and tomorrow I will record whatever needs to be recorded for the rest of this video to piece it together and make it work. But I have to fix my computer somehow and figure out why this is happening. I did lots of looking online. I've uninstalled some Logitech software, but I don't know. I don't even know if this video that I'm recording right now will work. But I restarted my computer, and I loved the way that I summed up the whole album. So I'll have to think about it, and we'll record new tomorrow, and it'll be okay, because this is a special, important album. I will make sure that all 21 Pilots videos in the future don't have this issue. Obviously, I don't want any other videos to have this issue, so I'll have to figure it out. But okay, you don't need to listen to me blather on anymore. So I'm going to send you to the beginning part of the video, and you'll watch through until the video stopped, and then I will step in tomorrow and I will explain what the rest of the video is going to be. So thank you for being patient. I know you're all wonderful, because this is the only comment section on my channel that has nice comments ever. So I know you'll be understanding, but just know that it hurts me deeply to have screwed this up for you. And I know it's not my fault. It's just, it is what it is. And the video will still hopefully be entertaining, and it'll be okay. But I want you to know that this is devastating to me, and I'm so disappointed. And I just feel like it was the best video I had recorded for you guys, and we'll have to try extra hard tomorrow to make that one even better. So, to the beginning of the video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another album review / reaction here on the channel. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been watching these 21 Pilots videos. I was not planning on recording this video today, so I just want to let you know right away, I haven't put a lot of thought into this, right? I haven't been like reading up on it or anything like that. I just kind of had a bit of a crappy day today, and things have been going wrong. Don't worry, it's not health stuff, so don't worry about that. But, you know, just everybody every now and then has bad days. It's no big deal. Sometimes bad days come in a row. It's not a big deal. Some really good things happened today. Today was the opening ceremonies of the 2026 Winter Olympics, and I am a huge fan of the Olympics. I adore the Olympics. I love them so much, and since they're in Italy, they're in Milan, Italy. The opening ceremonies actually happened it started at around 12:40 for me today, where I live right in the middle of the United States. And so I watched it already, and so I have the evening free, and I was like, you know, I've had a bad day, but the opening ceremonies were great. We've had, you know, I'm excited for the next 2 weeks to watch more sports than I probably will watch the whole rest of the year combined, unless you count WWE, which I could see the argument for both, whether it's sport or not, but sports entertainment, I guess, is what we would say. So I just thought, let's do this. You know what? I don't need to do a bunch of prep time. I don't have to mentally prepare for this. I'm not worried that it's going to sound bad. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's going to sound great. And I felt like recording something. We do have a Ko-fi account if you want to think about donating. None of the ad revenue from any of our videos goes to our channel. It all goes to the artists whose music we're featuring in all of our videos. So if you want to donate, that's cool. If not, no big deal. And then also come join our Discord. We've had some people joining and saying, hey, I came here from 21 Pilots, and I want you to go there, and I want you to engage, and I want you to talk about stuff, ask me questions, whatever. We're starting to kind of do sort of monthly, maybe sometimes when I feel like it, without much, you know, preemptive thought. We're starting to do like meetup type things there, I guess, where like we'll just go and I'll go into the voice chat channel or whatever they call it, and sit there and talk to people on our Discord. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you want to maybe do that at some point, or just go there and talk to the other awesome people that are on our Discord community, please think about doing that, because it's a really cool, fun place. And when I'm having a tough day, I know I can always open it and scroll through and look and see, and there's always a couple fun things there, or people arguing over Metallica, or like we have a meme channel now, and we have like, you know, different things there. So it's always a fun place to go for me. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, check it out. Links for that stuff is in the description. Now, I do have their wiki page pulled up because, as I said, I did no prep for this. So I'm now going to just take a few minutes to go through and look at the wiki page for this album, and then we'll get into it. So I might cut this all out. I might do lots of editing here. We'll see what ends up happening. So I got to go find the album first. Discography. We are on to Blurryface. Everyone's been saying that they think Trench will be my favorite, so I'm excited to get to that. But we've got Blurryface up first, and this is probably the album of theirs that I don't remember. I looked at this. I didn't really look at the song titles, but I've got it pulled up, and wait, hold on. Let me actually click on the album. Is there a deluxe edition of this? Blurryface, and then it just goes right to Trench. So, okay. So let me click on Blurryface. We'll go there. It is 14 songs, 52 minutes, 23 seconds. That's awesome. I see, I just glanced at this a little bit ago. There's 2 songs on here that are over 2 billion plays, and one of them is almost 3 billion plays, which is crazy. So track 2, Stressed Out, is almost 3 billion plays. That has to be one that I recognize, right? And then the song right after that, track 3, is Ride. That's 2 billion plays. So now looking at the title, doesn't ring a bell to me, but we'll have to see when we get there. So I did look that up. I do see there's 2 billion songs on here, which is crazy. Really awesome. Good for them. But I do want to look at the wiki page. So again, that's what I'm going to do right now. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I've just finished going through this entire page. There's actually surprisingly not a ton of information on this one. I mean, there is, but I mean, you know, if, for example, if I looked up that Megadeth album, I'm sure there's a bunch more information on that one than this one. So I'm a little surprised, especially with how popular this is. But there was interesting information, and I didn't read the whole thing. But I do think the first paragraph, or the first little blurb, is interesting. Let's see here. It says, Blurryface was well received by critics who complimented its themes and musical diversity, where we've known to come to expect that from this band. It's considered to be the band's breakthrough album, becoming the first release to reach #1 on the Billboard 200. The album sold over 1.5 million copies in the United States as of April 2017. In 2018, Blurryface became the first album in the digital era to have every track receive at least a gold certification. So that's really interesting. On May 15th, 2019, it reached a milestone of being on Billboard's 200 chart for 4 consecutive years, never leaving the chart up until that point. It is one of the most streamed albums of all time. So that's cool, and we're going to do our job and stream it from Spotify right now. It says, one thing I did notice, it doesn't talk a lot in here about the processes of recording or anything like that, but it does go into detail about who recorded what with them. So it says the songs Heavydirtsoul, Fairly Local, Tear in My Heart, Lane Boy, and Doubt were recorded with producer Ricky Reed. And then they also did some of the other, he also did some of the other songs, I believe, with them at different studios, but I thought that was interesting. So I looked him up, and he has a very small Wikipedia page. It just says that he's known professionally as Ricky Reed. He's an American record producer, singer, songwriter, and the founder of Nice Life Recording Company. It says he was in his own band called Wallpaper. He was born in 1982, which is crazy. He's only a few years older than me. He was lead singer of, wow, it doesn't matter about that. It says he has received RIAA Platinum Records for 2 Jason Derulo singles and something with Snoop Dogg. He received a Pop Award for his work on Talk Dirty, whatever that is. Oh, it's a single with 2 Chainz. Jason Derulo featuring 2 Chainz. And then he's been nominated for Grammy Awards as himself for producer, but it doesn't really say So anyway, not the best wiki page. He needs to update it himself. But I thought that was interesting. Not a huge amount of work for this guy, so who knows? It doesn't talk about his production credits. Oh, here we go. CeeLo Green, Far East Movement, Jason Derulo, Fifth Harmony, Pitbull. I'm looking for Jesse J. I'm looking for 21 Pilots. There we go. Blurryface, producer, it just says. Small Pools, what else? 21 Pilots, Blurryface, yeah. Robin Thicke, Rob Thomas. I like Rob Thomas. More Pitbull, Andy Trainer, Fits in the Tantrums, Megan Trainor, Lizzo, Fantagram, so tons of stuff. Kesha, Maroon 5, huge artists, right? As I think I mentioned last time, like huge artists, they work with other people who make huge artists. Like it's just a thing. So that it was interesting, I thought. And then it says some of the other songs on the albums, but specifically Stressed Out, Polarize, Hometown, and Not Today were recorded with Mike Elizondo, who I don't know if this is the guy that worked on Vessel with them, but it does say that he has worked with many other artists, including 50 Cent, Eminem, Linkin Park, Carrie Underwood, Fiona Apple, Mastodon, Ry Cooder, Nelly Furtado, the Brothers Osborne, Lauren Daigle, Madison Cunningham, Lin-Manuel Miranda. So both of their producers for this album and their previous album worked with Lin-Manuel Miranda. So lots of people there, obviously huge famous artists. It says he's won 3 Grammys. He's been nominated for different things, including Producer of the Year. So a lot of things this guy's done as well. So again, the record label Fueled by Ramen is throwing as much money at this band as possible because obviously they're making tons and tons of money, which is really awesome, great for them, and being able to still, as far as I can tell, remain true to themselves, which is really awesome. That you don't see that a ton, so that's really awesome. And then what else we have down here? It talks about the artwork and stuff, and them changing their logo a little bit. This I thought was interesting. Blurryface is primarily okay. Get this. Blurryface is primarily an alternative hip-hop, alternative rock, electro-pop, indie pop, and reggae album with influences and elements from hip-hop, rock pop, dub, industrial, drum and bass, indie rock, dubstep, punk, pop-punk, EDM, and jungle. So there you go. Now, I notice it says electro-pop, reggae, jungle, dubstep. So we could be getting a little bit more into the EDM, into the electronic genre here, which I would consider their music. Oh, you know what? That's a good question. I haven't considered that. Would I consider their music overall to be electronic music? I would. Oh, that's really tough. Because to me, one of the defining factors, I've actually been thinking about electronic music a lot here, because we're going to do like an electronic music video here on the channel coming up soon, introducing one of my friends who has not really been exposed to much modern electronic music. I want to do that video, and so I've been thinking about electronic music. And to me, I would say the most defining feature of something being electronic is the drums. And 21 Pilots, the drums are one of the most important parts of their band, but there are programmed drums for sure, and they use drum replacement and stuff like that. But I do believe that it kind of comes from a place of actually recording drum kit. But I mean, obviously electronic music is music that's created sort of synthetically. That's, I guess, the simplest way I would say it. So they use a lot of elements in their songs. Most everything you're hearing is synthetically created, other than guitars. I don't think some of the songs had bass, though. That's a really interesting question. I think if you just asked me off on the street and I was walking by, I would say 21 Pilots is a band, like a rock band, I guess, alternative rock, right? Maybe. So I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Does anyone that's a big fan of this band consider them to be electronic music? And obviously that's kind of a bit, it's a bit subjective. Everyone can have their own sort of idea of what that would mean, but it's an interesting thing to think of. So I don't know. But I'm excited with all those different ways they use to describe the album. But like I said, we've come to know that this band is very diverse. Let's see what else here. There was one other thing I wanted to read. This says the alternative press wrote that the band combined hip-hop vistas, tinges of reggae, everyman pop, which who knows what the heck that means, furious electronic urgency, and bellicose sadness into an impossibly cohesive record. Why do people write like that? None of that means anything. Tinges of reggae, furious electronic urgency. What does any of that mean? Write the way you speak. And if these people speak that way who are writing these articles, I don't want to have a conversation with them. Silly. Now, I thought this was interesting. It says, in April of 2025, an unreleased demo of Doubt, the album's 8th track, gained popularity on social media platforms. After noticing that it went viral, the group released the demo on streaming platforms and added it to their set list for their Clancy World Tour last year. So I thought it would be fun, once we listen to the album version of that, to go back and listen to the demo version, basically, right? And then that would maybe give us a bit of an idea. You guys will know why. Okay, we're done with that. You guys will know that my original intent with this next video for 21 Pilots is going to be to go back and listen to their album that we had problems with. Regency at Best. I wanted to go back and listen to Regency at Best, or Regency. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Regional at Best. Sorry, Regional at Best. That was my intention, to go back and listen to Regional at Best so that I could compare it to what I heard on Vessel. But you guys will also know the first track on Vessel, the YouTube algorithm thought it was a song from Regional at Best, and so it blocked the video worldwide because of that song, and I had to unfortunately take the audio out of it. So that was a huge bummer to me, but I'm at least glad we got the video up and posted the way we did. So I have decided not to mess with that for now. If I can find a way to do it, I do still think it would be fun to compare and contrast the songs that are the same on both albums. And I know that there are some songs that were not included on Vessel that were on Regional at Best, and I would like to hear those eventually. But if I can't play any of the songs from that in a video, I'll have to come up with some sort of a way to just like listen to it and talk about it after I'm done listening, and cut the part where I'm listening out of a video or something like that. So we'll have to just see what happens with that. But that was my original intent, but I decided not to mess with that for now. Let's listen to their discography first, and then we'll go back and see what we think. So let's just go ahead and look at the track listing a little bit more. We have every single song over 100 million plays, every song over 150 million plays. It looks like the song with the least amount of plays, as I'm looking at it on Spotify at least, is track 13, Not Today. And then we have Heavydirtsoul, the first track, with 450 million plays. And then it looks like Terror in My Heart has almost 700 million plays, so that might have been a single or something. It also has a video attached to it, and so does Lane Boy, but that one only has 342 million. So interesting. We'll see what happens when we get to those. Track 8 is Doubt, so try to remind me, try to send me your thoughts when we get to that track, that we want to go look up the demo for that, because I think that would be fun. But we've got, looks like here we got, the first track is 354. They have started their last 2 albums with pretty long songs that kind of show you an example of how the whole album's going to go, so we'll see what happens. 354, not super long, but it looks like as I look through the rest of the album, there's only, three songs over 4 minutes. One of them is almost 5, and that's track 7, The Judge. And then the other ones are Lane Boy with 4:13, and then Message Man at track 11 with just 4 minutes. Everything else is under 4 minutes, but it looks like the last 3 tracks are all right around the same length with 354, so we'll see if they sound diverse amongst each other or if they're all kind of similar. Not that length of a song obviously would dictate anything like that, but... And then around 320, it looks like 330 for most of the rest of them. So pretty good, chunky songs. This is from 2015. I mentioned in my last video that for a while the CD player in my old car, the Kia Sportage that I had, 2000 Kia Sportage, that it stopped working for a time. And I know it was in 2015, maybe it was the end of 2014, that I got that working again. So it depends when they released these singles and when in 2015 this came out. But it's possible I may have heard these big singles, Stressed Out or Ride, on the radio, but we'll just have to see what happens when we get there. So without further ado, let's get into this and just start listening to this album, and we're going to chill and relax and have a good time, and we're not going to worry about the world or anything like that or anybody's crappy days, right? We're just going to relax and enjoy some music. So without further ado, track 1, Heavydirtsoul, all one word, in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Very cool. Almost like Prodigy. Okay. Ooh. Piano on the sides. Obviously, we still got the piano going, and man, I love it. Sounds great. Doesn't sound huge. The mix doesn't sound super wide, which is kind of nice. It's containing itself more in the middle, and then the things that are on the sides have a little bit more meaning that way. Ooh, very cool. I love that. Right, it's very... This feels more hip-hop-y, almost like... That was So far, the song has been about the drums, and then there's been piano creating like a sound, but not really something you focus on. This song is about the drums and the vocals, for sure. Then big low bass, probably synth bass. Tambourine off to the right. Ooh, I love that synth in the middle. Ooh. Ooh, big. Synth, I believe, not a guitar. There could be a guitar mixed with it, but... See, this feels like it wants to be a big rock song, but they're kind of holding it back together. That's kind of a reggae-ish sort of type of thing. Crazy delay, like a ping pong delay. We'll see how much of the album is rapping versus singing. We'll see if there is a lot of him doing that vocal thing that I didn't care for as much when he's sort of doing that kind of whinier voice, I guess. So far, none of that on this. Much more straightforward singing. That tambourine is really present. Right? Oops, sorry. Crash cymbal right in the middle, right? The drums sounds like they were recorded mono, which is something the Black Keys have always done too. They record their drums in mono, and then they just place them where they go rather than having a stereo image and sticking true to what the drum kit would sound like. So, okay, enjoyed that song. Now we're going to Stressed Out. This is one of the biggest song on this album. Wow, way louder sounding. That's the reggae. Up.
I wish I found some better sounds no one's
This
ever
sounds
heard.
like it's coming up from a different album, honestly.
I wish I found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't have to rhyme
Chords
every
in an
time I
order.
sang. I was told when I get older all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and I care what people think. My name's Blurryface and I care what you
Wait.
think.
Okay, so I did read that Blurryface is like a character they created.
And I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time.
Do the good old days or whatever.
Good old days.
Yes, okay.
When the mama
Okay,
sang
yes, I know this part at least.
when I was stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days.
Okay, what is he saying there? Because I have heard this, and I've always assumed that the song was The Good Dope Days, and he was talking about drugs. But now I know better. The good old days. Okay. Oh, that's so funny. I've always thought he was saying The Good Dope Days, right?
Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to
I can't-
identify
this
where
sounds
it's
so
coming from?
different than that
I'd
first
make a
track.
candle out of it.
Insane.
If I ever found it, try to sell it, never sell out of it. I probably only sell one. Maybe to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, a stone's throw from a creek we used to roam. But it would remind us of when nothing really
Are we gonna hear a
mattered.
kick drum hit that doesn't have the hi-hat on it?
Take the ladder. My name's Blurryface and I care what you think. My name's Blurryface and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang.
This sounds like a different kick here.
And
the hi-hat's off to the left now a little. Okay.
Okay. Names, we would build a rocket ship and then we'd fly it far away. Used to dream about it.
Okay, everybody, today is a new day with new opportunities, right? We have the chance to listen to a fantastic album. I already know it's a fantastic album because I heard it for the first time yesterday, but we get to listen to it again, and I'm very excited about that. So, I apologize for everything that has happened. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to leave my little intro part that I've recorded yesterday in the video or not. I just recorded a different intro, but the more I was thinking about it, the more I was like, you know, that it's accurately portrayed the way I was feeling for sure. And I am still distraught and super bummed out that that happened with this video, and I will get this fixed and it won't be an issue in the future. I have to figure something out. And I'm hoping that this recording goes okay, but, like I said, it's a new day. We have a new opportunity to listen to this album, which I'm very excited to hear it again. So here is what we're going to do. I am going to hit play, and basically from the moment you just heard stop there, I'm going to hit play, and I'm just going to basically sit here and listen to the songs, and you are also going to be hearing my reaction to the first 5 songs from this album, okay? I don't remember exactly at which point this stopped. I think it was halfway through the first or second song. I think maybe the second song, Stressed Out. So, which, boy, was I stressed out yesterday. But, so we're going to just sit here, and we're going to listen to me listening to those songs. So we're going to hear the songs. We're also going to hear me reacting to the songs. So I'm just going to sit here so that you have something to watch, but you can hear my reaction to those songs, and then we'll pick up wherever we leave off here when it ends, and I will re-listen to the second half of this album. I debated about what to do in terms of should I explain to you my feelings before we get into this, but I think I'll save my thoughts for all of this until after we're done listening to this. So we'll continue listening through the album, and then I will go at the end of this. When we're done listening, I will sort of summarize my thoughts and everything, and we'll just kind of see what happens. There's no use in trying to sit here and tell you everything that I said yesterday. I feel like it was a fantastic video, but as I've already said multiple times, trying to cope with the situation, today is a new day and a new opportunity for us to have some fun while we're listening to a great album. So, without further ado, I'm going to hit play, and we are going to be listening to the bounced audio, the 26 minutes or so that I have before the recording got corrupted. So, here we go. We're going to start. I think music starts right away, so I'm just not going to talk for quite a while, and we'll see what happens, okay? This is just to give you a visual, so I don't have to worry about there being nothing there. So we'll see what happens. You can watch me and how I react to me reacting. This is reactception, okay? Again, I apologize that this happened. I promise it will never happen again. I hope. Right. All right, here we go.
I was stressed out. Used to play pretend, give each other different names. We would build a rocket ship and then we'd fly it far away. Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying, wake up, you need to make money.
Yeah, okay, that part sounds familiar too. Drums sound fantastic. The hi-hat is interesting to me. It kind of moved around a little bit in the song, throughout the song. Okay, pretty straightforward song, right? Verse, chorus, bit of a bridge, but then right back into it. I love that. Yeah, it's like almost like a sample of like a, whoa, pitch shifted vocals. Wonder if this is Tyler. Really weird. It's cool, sounds really good. Pitch shifted vocals are always a bit unsettling to me. Wake up, you need to make money. Okay. Wake up, you need to make interesting. Money. Hold on, we're gonna pause for a sec. We're gonna pause. Okay, so that is probably, of all the songs we've heard so far on the 3 albums that we've listened to, including Breach, that is the song that I believe I know the best, right? Because I've heard that part. I could have probably sung part of it. And I do think it's funny. I did always think they were saying the good dope days. But anyway, so interesting to note. And that since this is I want to look real quick while I'm thinking about this. What is their most played song? Is it that one? It is. It is Stressed Out with 2.9 billion plays. Then Ride with 2.1 billion plays. And then a song called Heathens from the Suicide Squad soundtrack? Is that on it? That's got to be on one of their other songs. And then we have Doubt, which wasn't even one of their singles. That's crazy. Or at least it didn't mention that. And then Tear in My Heart. Wow. So this album is huge. Obviously it is. And then Chlorine from Trench, it looks like. And then the Red album that's not Breach. what was that one called? Which one? What is that album called? Clancy. Clancy. Yeah. I forgot about Clancy. Because I was like, but they have that scaled and icy one too. So, okay, sorry. Okay, so interesting. Of those two songs, I definitely liked the second song more. However, the production on it was out of this world. Compared to the first song, that was crazy. Because the first track sounded like from a whole different dimension than Stressed Out. Stressed Out sounded like 3 or 4 levels above production-wise. Much more compressed and much more just clear and interesting and well put together, and felt like all the fat was trimmed off of it, which I'm one of those types of people that enjoys the extra fat things on in a song. I like songs to have patience, but when you're talking about massive #1 hit songs, you don't generally tend to have a lot of patient songs in those top spots, especially over the last 26 years, right? Since the beginning of this century. Or millennium? Yeah, you guys know what I mean. Since around 2000. But so it makes sense to me, and it's a little bit shorter. Totally all makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So let's get to Ride, track 3, Ride. Possibly another one I will know based on how many plays this has, but I don't know. We'll see. In 3, 2, 1. Also, same kind of production as sounds like enormous. Love it. Piano. There's that reggae stuff, right? The offbeat. The 2 and the 4. Okay. Okay, it does sound vaguely familiar. Is this the is there a part like that in this song somewhere? Some of the low was taken out of the kick here. From the beginning of the song was much bigger. Oh yeah. I'm falling. Okay. My time on this ride. Right, I knew it. Yes. Oh, massive hi-hat hit, but a crash, but very short crash, like an electronic crash, but it probably wasn't. Okay. Vocals really slicing through. You really hear his breathing in there. They're EQing it interestingly, so it sounds thin on purpose, and then boosting it so it slices through the fantastic production. Dude, this hits hard. Oh man, it sounds good. Okay. Love this. This is great. Ooh. Ooh, high falsetto voice there. But still gentle, right? Yeah, haven't we all? The drums sound so good. Like, there's this like, it's like a distortion on them, but it's not. It's just like a crashiness to it. Ooh. Interesting, because that kind of I'll wait till it's over. Love the synths. Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, would this chorus work while everything's going, or is it just the kind of thing you can do when everything comes back? Like, oh, very cool. All right, we still got 30 seconds. What are they gonna do here? Piano. I've been thinking too much. Oh, I love that you can hear the. I've been thinking too much. Don't we all think too much sometimes? Josh doing background vocal there? Awesome.
Fantastic
Awesome.
song.
Okay, hold on. I guess we'll pause since those are the two big songs, right? So, okay. Interesting. Very cool. I have heard both of those for sure. And I would say first impression, by miles, I thought Ride was was better than Stressed Out. Stressed Out's good. Don't get me wrong. But Ride was just like, whew, another level, in my opinion. I loved that. That is great. I don't think I would say that's my favorite song of theirs that I've heard so far. I've got to listen to them a lot more. Once we're done with all of these albums, I'll definitely do a video ranking, them and talking about my sort of overall opinions of them, and I'll come up with my top maybe 10 or maybe 5 or 10 songs and things like that. So you have that to look forward to if anyone's interested in that.
Which we're getting to a good one.
Interesting.
Coming up.
Very interesting. But yeah, Ride to me, better song, sounded better. I enjoyed it more. So there you go. Stressed Out was good though. Again, I'm not complaining. Now, here's going to be the question. Those are the two massive songs, right? So is the rest of this album going to sound more sonically like Heavydirtsoul in that it doesn't sound as good, right? I just went through this process with the Beatles, doing our Beatles reactions here. We just listened to Let It Be. And Let It Be sounds like it came from a different planet, billions of miles in the future from where the rest of the songs on that album came from. Let It Be is by far the best sounding thing on that album. And then the rest of those songs on that album sound good. Don't get me wrong. And obviously they're written well. That's fine. That's great. And for those of you familiar with Let It Be by the Beatles and like the rooftop ones that were recorded live, that stuff all sounds really cool and good in its own way. But I was frustrated that at the time they could make Let It Be sound so fantastic and the rest of the album did not live up to that. So here, what is it? 60 years later? That was in 69. So we're in 26. So however many years that is later, many, many decades later, with all the technology advancements, all of the money, all of everything put into it, is the rest of this album going to sound up to the standard of quality that was set by those two previous tracks? And by the way, I don't care if they were recorded with someone else, a different record producer or whatever. This album had money thrown at it. It was going to be a huge album. It had the backing of the proverbial machine, right? There's no excuse. This album should sound fantastic. And I'm not saying Heavydirtsoul didn't sound good, but I'm just saying, if we listen to the rest of this and it is not up to that standard of the quality that those two tracks just set, I'm going to be a little bummed, I have to say, production-wise. Okay?
Who knows?
So here we go. Now we're going to Fairly Local in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that time-stretched reverby sort of hit. Ooh. Oh, yeah.
I'm fairly local. I've been around. I've seen the streets. You're walking down.
Massive.
I'm fairly local.
Oh, is there a metal version of this? Oh, that synth.
I'm evil to the core. What I shouldn't do, I will.
Oh,
They say I'm emotional. What I wanna say about kill.
right? There's not any melody happening here other than in the vocals a little bit. This is just sounds.
Repeat yesterday's dance. Yo, this song will never be on the radio. Even if I click with a pick and the people with a vote, it's a few the proud and the emotional. Yo, you
Piano.
bulletproof and black like a funeral. The wonder riders is burning, but we're so cold. It's a few the proud and the emotional. I'm fairly local. I've been around.
Oh my gosh.
Streets, you're walking down. I'm fairly local. Good people now.
Oh, dude.
I'm not evil to the
Let's go. This is awesome. Oh, this is the best song I've heard from them, easily.
What I wanna say about what
Dude, I love the space, the nothingness, the attackiness of the vocals. The mix is just wide open.
Boy, yesterday's dance.
Yo, this song will never be on the radio. Even if my click with a pick and the people with a vote, it's a few the proud and the emotional.
More pitch-shifted vocals.
Yo, you bulletproof and black like a funeral. The world around us is burning,
Oh,
so cold.
oh.
The view, the brown, the emotional.
I'm feeling local.
Oh, yes! Oh, that's the heaviest thing I've ever heard.
Walking down. I'm feeling
Oh.
good people now.
Ooh, and the beautiful, like, string part on there. Sampley feeling. Oh. You gotta give it to me again. Make it the biggest it can possibly be, right? Yes! Oh, yeah. Big strings. Oh, yeah.
You're walking down. I'm feeling
Whew.
local. Good people now. Yeah. I'm feeling local. Good people now. Good people now. Good people now.
Oh my God, I gotta stop it. You guys, I swear, I almost have like tears in my eyes. That was so freaking awesome.
I did.
That was, it's so rare that I hear a song that's like, just like, it's so awesome, right? Oh man. That is the best. That is my favorite 21 Pilots song. I hope we hear every song from now on, I hope, is even better than that one. But man, was that awesome. That was so good. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. That is right exactly the type of thing that I wanted this band to do. Fantastic. Okay. That parts of that kind of reminded me a little bit of like Billie Eilish's song. I'm not even sure what it's called, but I think it might be called You Should See Me in a Crown, right? There is an unexpected heavy part in that song. You should see me in a crown, whoa, 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 right? Using the oscillating synth bass, the like, whoa, 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 right? And that, when you hear that, you're like, oh, this is special. This is unique. This is different. This, and there's many songs that I could give with that are examples like that. But I'm not even picking that song because of the similar wub, 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 wub part. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about, that's the first Billie Eilish song I ever heard. And then every song I've heard since then, I'm kind of like, this is lacking that like biting, awesome part that I heard in the first song of hers that I heard. This song was minimalistic, right? If you just sat in a quiet room, you could imagine the room continuing to be quiet while you're listening to it. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. The space, they established a space at the beginning of the song, and then they used room tone and reverb to place instruments and then have them sound like they were in a space. But then there were also really super dry elements too that really made them stand out from the more affected sounds. And so it felt very like an empty space with sounds in an empty space, rather than a lot of songs. You can picture them like that first track didn't sound like that. Heavydirtsoul more sounded like you were in a quiet, isolated, smaller space with drums, and then there was distortion and things like that. And it sounded dirtier, right? Dirty in terms of like production, right? Like gritty, grimy a bit. That song had that griminess to that big whoa, 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 which is like the coolest thing I've ever heard. And then the whole thing was, the whole song was patient, right? I was just talking about that in the previous song. The whole song was patient. The entire time it was waiting for the drop. That's electronic music, right? The buildup of the tension and then the release. And you can build up the tension and release into a down feeling, like a low feel, or like explode into the bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum type thing, right? Or I guess, right? Depending on what kind of thing you're listening to. And so this was just total chill, but still ominous sounding. Like there was a darkness to what we were hearing. I didn't hear any of the words. And that's sorry. The music was too cool. But there was this like dark hip-hoppy rap type of thing, trip hop sounding, and then the oscillating W synth bass, dubsteppy, like that is the perfect way to use that kind of stuff. They did it all 3 times. There were 3 choruses. It was incredible. The bridge had no vocals, and it was just simple with nothing. And what you're doing is the second chorus comes in, and you're all just like bashing, and you're just like destroying things and crushing them like you can imagine a little city under your feet like Godzilla, right? And you're just stomping on them. And then everything stops. And you're just suspended in time while the bridge of the song was going, and it was just kind of a suspended single thing going that built up a little bit, and it just the suspense is building, and then it just crashes back down, plodding, enormous. Again, you're crushing buildings, and it's just oh, that was so good. Oh, I want to listen to that again right now, but I'm not going to. So, let's go. This is great. Okay, I'm not going to pause between every song from now on. I promise. I'll pause if I need to, but my intent was not to pause between all the songs. But, okay, rein it back in. Put our analytical hats back on. Our enjoying this hat has never left our head. Okay, track 5, Tear in My Heart, which makes me think of Backstreet Boys. It's NSYNC. It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. But when we are apart, I feel it. NSYNC was good stuff. Still love NSYNC. And all 3 of their albums. Tear in My Heart in 3, 2, 1. Okay. I don't know what language that was. Big piano here. The drums are recorded in stereo for this. You can really tell that. Oh yeah. Right, totally different feeling song. Wait. Maybe I have heard this.
The songs on the radio are okay.
Nice bass guitar.
My taste in music is your face. And it takes a song to come around to show you.
My taste in music is your face. Oh, this is great. That part sounds familiar. I'm on fire. I love the way he's singing here. I love this. Okay. We've already gotten the chorus twice here. What are we doing? Right? Oh, yeah.
You fell asleep in my car, I drove the whole time.
Okay.
But that's okay, I'll just avoid the hole so you sleep fine.
Okay, this is more like their debut. Bit.
For not using my taxes to fill holes with more cement.
I have heard this. That sounds familiar to me. What a clever rhyming. What a clever lyric. Wait, unless he's used that in songs before. Unless that's a lyric from... I love this dry vocals. And the piano being this big, all-encompassing thing. Ooh, yeah. Very cool. This is fun. This album is fun. I love that. This is I for sure have heard this, I think. There's parts of it that sound familiar. His voice is reminding me of something here, though. The, like, shrillness in his voice.
She's the tear in my heart. She's a carver, she's a butcher with a smile.
What an interesting lyrical thing. Tear in my heart. What an interesting thing. So is it about a breakup then? And it didn't really sound like a breakup-y song, but I love that hissing there in there, right? Oh, man. All right, let's keep going. Lane Boy. Oh. Sounds like a guitar, but I'm guessing that's a keyboard part. Drums sound phenomenal again. Massive. This, it would not be the same without the piano. The piano is such an integral part to what we're hearing. Like bubbly almost. That hi-hat going to work. That also sounds like it might have been in stereo, or at least they added some of it on the right side. Ooh. Interesting.
All these songs I'm hearing are so heartless. Don't trust a perfect person and don't trust a song that's flawless. Honest, there's a few songs on this record that feel common. I'm in constant confrontation with what I want and what is popping in the industry. It seems to me.
Interesting. Feeling a bit of pressure to make singles. Ooh, love it. He's doing a lot of different vocal stuff on this album, and I love it. Or maybe he's reining his voice in a bit, maybe. What a catchy, cool part. So simple.
I'm sorry if that question I asked last scared you a bit like a hazmat in a gas mask. If you ask Zach, he's my brother, he likes when I rap fast. But let's backtrack, back to this. Who would you live in that for on that list? But the problem is, there's another list that exists and no one really wants to think about this. Forget sanity, forget salary, forget vanity.
Rapping is so much, he's so crystal clear with what he's saying, which he always has been.
Don't trust a song that's flawless.
Don't trust a song that's flawless. That's saying something. That has a deep meaning to it, probably based on some personal experience he had. Don't trust a song that's flawless. Boy, does that mean so much in a world of AI right now, right? Okay, so this song doesn't have, it has a defined chorus, obviously, but it doesn't feel much different than the verse. So in that way, it's very hip-hoppy. Interesting, more Prodigy-like drums. Weird. Wow. 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 Okay, I see. Okay, now we're back to the beginning. Okay, very cool. And that was where my recording cut off and stopped working. So, let's just keep moving on. I hope that that was something for you. I debated about whether or not I should just sit here like a lump, try to be entertaining, try to mouth my words, which was kind of fun to do, or show off cool stuff, or what. And I was like, I don't want to be too distracting, but I know some people watch these videos like a podcast. You know, you just put them on and you just hear what's going on, and, you know, that's cool. So, we're in Lane Boy. Are we getting this? Okay, yep. Song was basically over. So, okay, at this point, we're going to hop over to The Judge, which is one of my other favorite songs from the album. That high note, right, that he hits? Let's do it. This is The Judge in 3, 2, 1. I love the slow start here. Aha. Ukulele.
Na 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 na, oh oh, na 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 na, oh oh, na 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 na, oh oh.
Na-na-na-nas.
When the leader of the bad guys sang something soft and soaked in pain.
Yes, this is
I
interesting.
heard the echo from his secret hideaway.
Again, talking about writing songs, talking about, you know,
He must have forgot to close his door.
interesting.
As he cranked out
This song.
those dismal chords, and his four walls declared him insane. I found my way, right time, wrong place.
big
as I
drums.
pled my case. You're the judge. Oh no, set me free.
Oh, that note. Every time I heard it yesterday, I was like, yes, this is so cool. Set me free.
Oh, my soul's freezing, hell's hot for good reasons.
I can't remember if it was this song, but one of the songs he's like, this song is different. The music's happy, but the words aren't or whatever. I feel like they do that a lot. I do. I feel like they do that a lot. Na 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 na. Oh. Bit of Toby Mac here. Love the organ. Fantastic.
I can tell 'cause it's a bit darker than
Shaker
the
off
last
to the
night's
left.
mouth. I forgot about the drought of light bulbs in this house, so I head out down the route.
Drums
I think
sound
it's heading
fantastic.
south, but I'm not good with directions, and I hide behind my mouth. I'm a pro at imperfections, and I'm best friends with
Again,
my
that
doubt.
organ, baby.
Now that my mind's out, and now I hear it clear and loud. I'm
The
thinking
organ
loud.
gives it a bit of a
I probably
gospel-y
should've stayed
feel.
inside my house. I found my way, right time, wrong place.
Half
as I
tempo.
pled my case. You're the judge. Oh no, set me free. You're the judge.
I shouldn't mouth it anymore.
Set me free.
It's that kind of a thing is such a signature part of the song. Like, that's what I think of when I think of this song. And you can't do that kind of a thing all the time or it would feel gimmicky.
I don't know if this
Oh,
song
Big
is a
piano
surrender
chords.
or a rebel.
And then the big organ,
I don't
too.
know if this one is about me or the devil.
Bit of like a long trail on something there, some reverb trail, or just a big, like a slow decay.
I don't know if this one is about
Drums
me or
sound
the
awesome here.
devil.
This song does remind me of Toby Mac a bit. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. This would have been a perfect time for a guitar solo, right? Set me free. Going down an octave with it. Or not up the full octave. I like that. Very cool. I did notice on this album, and particularly the second half, there's less defined choruses, which this song has a very defined chorus with that part. But there's a little bit more na-nas and oohs and ahs and stuff, which is nice. I don't mind that at all. But I feel like it's slightly less interesting than we're still in the first half of the album. But that was kind of one of my takeaways at the end, that the second half of the album stood out to me less than the first half. And I know I think I remember specifically saying that makes me a bit of a basic Bob because all their the singles are all the first half, right? Every one of the first 6 songs has a video associated with it. All right, now we're moving on to Doubt. And don't worry, we'll listen to the demo again as well. because it's very different. All right, this is Doubt. Oh, so cool.
Scared of my own image, scared of my own immaturity, scared of my own ceiling, scared I'll die.
Dry.
Uncertainty, fear might be the death of me. Fear leads to anxiety. Don't know what's inside of me. Don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Even when I doubt you, I'm no good without you. No.
This one is a little bit disappointing to me. I like the doubt thing, and I remember yesterday I compared that to, and I know it's sort of annoying that I keep saying yesterday, but I want to give you guys my initial thoughts as much as I can. At the time, I compared it to that Ellie Goulding song that she did with Jason Derulo or a DJ or something, where she's love me like you do, love me, right? Where it's an edited thing. It's done post-processing. And I'm willing to bet that that was one of the core foundations of this song. Can I do a song that's da ba 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 thing, right? Because the song's written with that in mind.
Repeating simple phrases. Someone wholly insisted. Want the markings made on my skin to mean something to me again.
Love the synths. I love the synths here. And it feels so different in the demo version too. Oh, that's so cool sounding. It's like ominous and weird, a bit industrial, but in context of the song, really interesting. His voice very affected the entire time with some kind of like an auto-tune type thing. This one does feel a little bit more slow jammy, kind of like. That low, like 808 style kick. Very cool. Very cool. Not one of my favorite songs on the album, but still very cool. All right, now let's go back up to their page. And we're going to click on singles and EPs, and Doubt is right here. So we are now going to listen to the demo for that song. And it's going to be a huge difference. I'm leaving all the levels of everything the same here, okay? I might mess with the levels of things after the fact when I'm editing, but I will leave the volume of this song relative, like I will leave it. I will not touch this or move it down because it's quite a bit louder. So see what you guys think when we listen to this. First of all, it sounds way louder. It's a different synth sound. I like it though. This is, when I first heard this yesterday, I was like, oh, this is kind of, you know, the drums are more simple here. Obviously, it's a demo. Temperatures dropping. This, to me, this doesn't even sound like Tyler at all. It does just not sound like him. Ooh. Oh, he's saying, don't forget about me. Okay, I didn't get that. Okay, interesting. But I was new wavy, not new wave. Gosh, what's the term for it? Right, the synthwave stuff, right? with the reverb, the sort of emptiness of the rest of the song. And I did say specifically yesterday that it reminded me more of something along the lines of like Stranger Things mixed with some like modern hip hop stuff. I think I like the album version better, but there is something about this. This is way more compressed. Way more compressed. It would be neat to listen. Actually, it would be interesting to listen to this and then Breach and see if Breach is more like this. But I don't know. Ooh, that synth bass. That's such an interesting vocal rhythm. Right? It's like a triplet time or something. It's an interesting timing. Why was this song? I think it got big on TikTok last year. Why this version? And did they release this version somewhere else so that people could easily get access to it? It must be in the algorithms for TikTok, right? So why that version? What 30-second part of this song did people pick out? It's interesting. Okay, so that was the Doubt demo. And now we're going to move on to Polarize. But I guess first, let me just say, yeah. So that version was significantly more compressed. It felt way louder because of the compression and the mastering stuff. You know, I was probably treated and differently by different producer, different people, but interesting to hear those differences, right? That felt much more simplified, and the arrangement is basically the same arrangement in terms of structure, but what you're actually hearing, a lot less elements going on in that version. So very interesting. And like I said, I wonder why that version in particular was trending last year. It's interesting. I'm trying to save some of my thoughts for the end because I don't want to just sit here and be like, oh, I remember I said this yesterday. Oh, I remember I said this yesterday. So we'll keep going. This is Polarize in 3, 2, 1. I love that. I feel like it could have done that more at the beginning of the song. Could have had a longer intro. Right, after that Doubt demo, this sounds so small, this song, so far. Some of their choruses get bigger, you know? Which is, they should. I think, not necessarily should, but that's a pretty normal thing. Big bass, but the drums on this song feel so small compared to what we've heard before on this album, and then also that Doubt demo, but I'm not going to keep referencing the Doubt demo. I'm just talking about this album. If you compare the quality of this song to like Ride or Stressed Out, those two songs stand so much higher. That is from Ennio Morricone's I said this yesterday right away. I was like, that is from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right? So cool, right? Very, very hip-hoppy, very, you know, very hip-hop, trip-hoppy, very sample-based. And you can tell... Ooh. Not a lot of intense vocals from Tyler on this album. Gang vocals, always one of the funnest parts to record in a studio. Just everybody in there, yada da da da. It's just, you always have everybody messing around, you know, bumping into each other, whatever. Just a fun time. And if you can get other people, pull other people from the studio, just walking around into the studio to do it with you, oh, it's the funnest thing. The absolute funnest thing. Nice organ part too, but different sounding. Actually, two different organs there.
I wanted to be a better brother, better son.
This song to me feels kind of different than the rest of the songs on the album, and I will tell you right now, this was, I think, my least favorite song on the album. I didn't care for the first track that much either, to be fair. Hearing this a second time, though, I do think I liked it a little bit more, but not... Yeah. All right, this is we don't believe what's on TV, which is so true now, 11 years later, right? Can't believe anything you see. This isn't even a real first-time reaction, is it? Can't even believe this video. More ukulele, though. Nice, real snare drum, you can tell, because it's really hard to fake that kind of stuff. Programming drums. Kick sounds big, you can hear a bit of room. Bass guitar. Not a lot of bass so far on the album. There has been, but bass guitar specifically.
I don't care what's in your hair. I just want to know what's on your mind.
Be curious to know what's in your hair. It's weird. Yeah. Oh wow, I did not. I was just thinking this is like the more acoustic-y one that they had on their previous on Vessel that was like a bigger song that I kept comparing to It's Time by Imagine Dragons and like Mumford & Sons and that kind of stuff. The Millennial Yell, right? That bass, there's not a lot of low frequencies in that bass. It almost sounds like maybe they were miking the strings on the bass. Ooh, trumpet, let's go. Yes. Off to the right, very tasty, not doing too much. And then some square wave synths in the back too. I'm noticing a lot more today. An extra track of trumpet, I think, too. I never noticed. One harp note. Ding! Or no, that probably wasn't a harp note, probably a ukulele note. Yes. I was going to say the Millennial Yell, right? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there was a really awesome, like, sort of video someone made way back in the day, probably around this time, called The Millennial Yell, and it's a fantastic video. If I find it, I might put a clip or something of it in here. I might not bother to do that because this video is going to be such a headache anyway, but if you just go search for the Millennial Yell, it's a fantastic video that really opened my eyes to a trend that was happening that I didn't even realize. Yeah. All right. Message Man. Organ, nice. I like that the organs and the different sort of electronic elements have some weightiness to them. They're not just high-passed. You can hear low frequencies in them. It makes it feel more organic and real. And I mean, I'm sure they were really playing it and things like that, but I doubt they had like some crazy specific organ there, you know. Back to that sort of reggae feel. Ooh, and the bass, the little gorilla-y, right? I don't know that much about reggae music. Ooh, big drums. This is Imagine Dragons-y with the big drums. These lyrics aren't for everyone. Hey, hey. He's like, these lyrics aren't for everyone, and then the lyrics are just, hey, 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 which is like the most generic thing imaginable. But I don't think that's what he was talking about, but... Oh, so smooth. His enunciation is so fantastic. It's so different, and he really is not singing with that whiny sort of approach to singing that he had. More whiny, I don't want to say whiny, but that more sort of whiny approach that he had on their previous albums. But he did a little bit. A lot on their first album, and then less on Vessel. I love the doubling of the organ there, the double time of it. Totally dry signal.
My people singing.
Hey, hey,
My
hey,
people
hey.
singing. Hope you're dead, cause how
Ooh,
could
cool.
you sleep at a time like this? People, they rhyme like this. We're all
Totally
impressed
dry
by this. They
vocals.
rip it, flip it, but these are just
Feels
triplets.
different
Focus
from the
and
rest of the
dreamers,
song,
three
right?
words to a line, it's just poetry
And we're only
divided.
halfway
The kind of
done
guy who takes
with
every
this
moment
song.
he knows he confided in music
Big
to use it for
cavernous
others to
bass
use it.
drums.
You're dead, cause how could you sleep at a time like this? Life is up here, but you comment below. And the comments will always become common motivation to promote your show's next episode, so your brain knows to keep going even though it's far from this
Yeah.
moment. But you and I know
Dude,
it
don't
gets
talk
better
to me
when
about the
money
comments.
finally
I get
is
it.
intent. Together we're losers. Remember the future. Remember the morning is when night is dead. Release me from the present. I'm obsessing all these questions. Why I'm in denial that they tried to suicide.
I was trying to figure out what that sound was earlier, and I don't know. That wop, wop, wop in there, kind of. It doesn't sound like a... It's like a slow attack synth bass, maybe?
My people singing. My people
Love it when that beat comes in. Like, every song, so groovy, right? Yes. Allowing a little room for the song to breathe at the end here. Very cool. Almost unsettling. Right? So cool. Nice. Very cool. All right, now I'm going to spoil this going into another track that I loved. Hometown. Love the dancey feel of this. This song, I didn't think of this yesterday, but this song reminds me of one of my favorite bands of all time called Hurts, H-U-R-T-S. They're an English duo, similar in the vein, I guess, to like a bit like Depeche Mode kind of, but this song could be a Hurts song. And Hurts is, like I said, one of my favorite bands of all time. I believe they have 4 perfect albums. And anybody that likes 21 Pilots should definitely look into them. One of the few instances of noticeable guitar on the album. Oh. Yes. Love it. So catchy. I love that there's not constant vocals on this song. They let the music be the focal point a little bit in this song, which is so nice. I love that. And they don't necessarily smother their songs with vocals, completely. But it's nice to have, this song is almost like a little breath of fresh air, right? Towards the end of the album here. But now that I've made that connection in my head with Hertz, that is all I can think of. Definitely, please, everybody go check them out. Their first 4 albums are phenomenal, and they have a 5th album that's good, but it's just not really what I was expecting from them. Their first 4 albums, and specifically their first 2. Dancey. I love the sort of string part, the keyboard strings, like, obviously sounds like a keyboard string patch, and I love that kind of stuff. I know some people in the music industry that don't like stuff like that. It sounds fake to them, right? Because you can hear that they're using a keyboard instead of real strings, and they're like, well, why wouldn't you just use real strings? But it's like, I don't look at it that way. This is very cool. Acoustic guitar, or electric guitar. That, like, bubbly. So cool, so catchy, so different from everything else on the album. So neat. I feel like you could draw direct lines from this song to other stuff that was popular at the time. Definitely some stuff was inspiring them for this one. And it's so different for him to be in this register of vocal. Unless that's Josh. So neat. Doo-doo, doo-doo. All right, we're going into Not Today. What do we say to death? Not today. Teardrop reverb in there.
I just feel I'm better off staying in
or
the
droplet.
same room I was born in. I look outside,
Bass
see a whole world
focal point of the music right here.
off, without me in it, trying to transform it. You are out of my mind. Oh, you aren't seeing my side. Oh, you waste all this time trying to get to me, but you are out of my mind. Yeah.
Oh, the piano, let's go. Yes.
Listen, I know this one's a
Drums sound fantastic.
happy it sounds,
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
but the lyrics are so down.
Yeah.
It's okay though, because it represents, wait, better yet, it is who I feel I am right now. You
Happy but always
are
down.
out of my mind. Oh, you aren't seeing my side. Oh, you waste all this time trying to get to me, but you are out of my mind. Heard you say, not today.
Such a cool little. So that was a pre-chorus, but it felt like the chorus kind of. Then going into this, very different, almost jarring. Okay. So maybe that's actually a post-chorus.
Test me though, just because I play the piano doesn't mean I
Little
am
brass
not
section in there.
take you down. I'm sorry. I'm out of my mind. Oh,
You know, that's 2 songs that have brass on them. I almost wonder if they had them play brass on this song and they were like, hey, trumpet player, would you mind trying to play something on this other one earlier? That'd be awesome if that was the case. Okay. So catchy. Vocals wide here. Brass sounds awesome.
my side.
And then this is what I thought the chorus was, but now I think that other part was the chorus. So this is pre-chorus-ish kind of thing. Maybe there's two choruses. Yep. Okay, this is the... Okay. And then almost like some orchestral elements in there. Yeah. With the snare, marching snare type thing. Oh yeah, big. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah. Polyphonic spree. Ba, ba, ba. Very cool. Tambourine. And then Tyler doing the lead vocal in the middle there. Nice, feels big. Toby Mac-ish. And when I say that, I love Toby Mac, for those of you who didn't watch the Vessel video. So, awesome. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to pause it before we go into Goner. So, yesterday, one of the things that I was talking about before we got to this song, I paused just like this, and I was talking about final song vibes. And I don't think I talked about this in the Vessel video, but I can't remember. I may have brought it up, but it's something I am focusing on this year a little bit more. When I listen to an album, I want the final track, I want the last song to have final song vibes. It doesn't mean it has to be an acoustic song or slow or anything, but it has to be somewhat different than everything else on the album, and it has to give you the feeling that the album is over. Something special at the end of the album. And so I mentioned that, talked about it for probably a little bit longer than I needed to, and we can go into this now. Now I know that this is a track with final song vibes. So we're going into Goner in 3, 2, 1. And I expected it to be a piano song, and I was right, totally called it yesterday. But I didn't know what else to expect, and they throw me a curveball at the end. And I wish I had the reaction still. But so one thing to point out here, if you've listened to this song before but never with headphones or really closely, that right? That's like you record something in the studio and then there's a minute of the room tone fading in before the what it sounds like is a compressor or a gate. A slow gate on a track. And I believe the very last thing you hear on this song is the thing that they pulled that sample from and put it in the song, and that's so cool. Such a trip-hop thing. Sorry, guys, I know you probably want me to be paying attention to the lyrics here.
Beaten down, I'll slip away into the sound. The ghost of you is close to me. I'm inside out, you're underneath.
And then all of a sudden it feels like all the high frequency goes out and this piano's sort of underwater almost. I love it.
I've got two faces. Blurry's the one I'm not.
Blurryface.
Got two faces. Blurry's the one
His repeating of the phrases in this song was the thing that stuck out to me the most lyrically.
Take him out. I need your help to take him out. Though I'm weak and beaten down, I'll slip away.
Playing that snare drum quietly so you can build it.
The ghost of you.
The snare has a nice woody sort of hollow sound to it, but you still hear the snares. It sounds like a real drum because I'm 100% positive that it is. Yes. And at this point I'm like, okay, all right, they're bringing in some extra instruments. And I'm gonna just listen and I'll tell you. The ghost of you is close to me. This is so brilliant.
Don't let me be gone. Don't let me be gone.
Ominous. Yes. Oh, it's so brilliant. And then big crashes, constant crash, creating like a wall of splash of cymbals. Just big. Not many songs have this feel to them. Oh, yeah. So cool. Big climactic finish here. Wow. So cool. So cool. Okay, so there's the album. Now, I want to say before we get from this song and talk about the whole thing overall, yesterday when I was listening to that, and it got to the part where he was saying, here, we can do this. There's no rules, right?
Be gone.
Don't let me be gone. Or is that what he's saying?
Don't let me be gone.
Right, so he's saying, don't let me be gone. But the thing is, before that, in the song, he's singing, it's quiet. He's singing probably like this distance from the mic or thereabouts, singing the way he normally would, but then when he gets to that point, you can tell he gets closer to the mic and he's singing quietly, don't let me be gone. Right, like it's so quiet. He's being so quiet. He's moved closer to the mic. You can tell that that it's much more intimate sounding, but you're drawn into it, right? You're being drawn into it, and you almost feel like you're leaning forward in your chair. And it's brilliant because he does it just enough, and the chords on the piano are super ominous and minor and just bleak sounding. And then, don't let me be, right? And crazy, big, not super heavy, but compared to the rest of this song, very big, very climactic feeling. And that is final song vibes. And I love it. I love it. I said yesterday, and I think it's probably true, that this is my favorite final song that I've heard from any of the now 4 albums of theirs that I've heard. Breach, I know, was a thing that was made up of something from Vessel, and everyone was commenting on that. And I do think that's really cool. I like the idea of referencing your own music and being clever like that and things like that. But in terms of a song, this is just so cool. And so I really liked this final song, and it really left me with a really good feeling when the album was over. So, okay. All right. Now this is the part. It's easy for me to sit here and listen to a great album and then talk about what I enjoy about it, right? But doing this part, I was kind of worried about, because what do I do here? Do I try to tell you my thoughts from yesterday? Do I just tell you what I liked about it? Do I be more concise so that I'm not rambling as much? Is that truly me being me? I don't know. So a couple of things that I know for sure I said yesterday. One of them was that something that I noticed, and I just noticed this, and I'll say it with my own words today. I'm obviously not trying to think of what are the exact words I said. The first half of this album, so I think the first thing to go into that's important is this album feels a bit more put together. It feels more intentional, and it feels less. Each song does still feel like it has its own specific, unique element to it, and I was talking about that in that the Judge song, right? Set me free. Just doing that is a sweet little moment in that song that makes that one stand out for a different reason than the other songs on the album stand out. And I do feel like every song on this album has something to it that makes it stand out from the other songs, something special and unique to that particular song. And I love that. I love albums that do that. And I think that is a sign of a phenomenal album. I also think that that is a sign of a lot of effort and work being put into every single song. And yesterday I spent quite a while talking about this, and it probably would have made a couple people mad, but I want to try to see if I can say it today a little bit better. I mentioned at the beginning that this album was produced, or there were some of the songs were produced and recorded with different people and all that stuff. And something that we were talking about in our Beatles video more recently is that nowadays, I think it was Beatles, nowadays, you can't be above a certain level of popularity unless you have the machine backing you, right? And I'm not necessarily saying any of this in a negative way, though some of it may seem that way. So just bear with me and we'll see if we can make it through the other side of this conversation. I do think well, anyway, yeah. So I think that in order to be in like the upper stratosphere of popularity, you have to have a push, right? You have to have a push behind you. And there are a few exceptions to that, of course, right? There's always exceptions to every rule. But, this is not to say that it diminishes the talent of these guys at all. I think they are the primary creative force in their band. But once you get to be a certain level of popularity, there are more people relying on you to continue being that popular and that creative with your output and having every song be a potential hit. There's so many people relying on that you have help. And whether you know it or not, you have the backing of the machine, right? And you can look at all these super huge artists. And I mentioned in the video even yesterday, Taylor Swift. We love to talk about her here on the channel because she is an entity beyond anything we have seen in my lifetime, right? Maybe the Beatles come close to it, I guess, but that was different at the time too. And you know that there wasn't really many people trying to control the Beatles or anything like that. But Taylor Swift, when you look at the credits of her songs, yes, Taylor Swift can write music. Yes, Taylor Swift performs music fantastically. It's all great, right? I like Taylor Swift. I haven't heard many of her more recent albums at all. I think I haven't heard her last like 5. I love Speak Now. That's my favorite Taylor Swift record, by the way. But you look at the credits of any one of her songs, there's like 10 people involved in it. And that is because in order to ensure that she stays at the level she is and grows, you have to filter everything through the machine. And so I just think it's interesting when you're talking about a band that has, and the thing is, I know on this was their breakout album, right? The popularity of this album caused people to go back and look into Vessel and to look into even their self-titled album. So I don't think there was too much pressure on this album for them to be, run through the machine. However, Vessel was popular and it did have some traction from what I understand. And so they were maybe pushed a little bit from behind to do this album. And so when I listen to this, to me, it sounds like all of the screws have been tightened quite a bit, right? All of the superfluous elements have been taken out of this. All of the extra things that don't need to be there were cut out. The fat was trimmed off of this. And it goes both ways too. Like once you get to be so popular, you have more control over your stuff because if they don't do what you say as the person creating it, then you could just tell them to, hit the highway, and then they're losing all of their investment in you. So you have more push and pull as an artist once you get to be that. But at this point, and I'm not saying this, it's just interesting to me when I don't listen to stuff that has billions of plays very often, right? But we're listening to the Beatles right now on the channel. They have billions of plays. We're listening to the Gorillaz a little bit, right? They have billions of plays. We don't do many billions of plays, billions of, hundreds of millions of records sold bands. So it's interesting to look at this kind of stuff. And I've mentioned in many other videos, like Ryan Tedder and One Republic. And I feel like they are so special because Ryan Tedder writes songs for Rihanna and probably Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez. And like Ryan Tedder is part of that machine. However, Ryan Tedder has a band that is part of that machine as well, but they can kind of do what they want. And I mentioned yesterday when I was talking about this a little bit that I think the last two One Republic albums for me have been very disappointing. They're very cut and paste. Every song's the exact same. They're all short songs, and I don't feel like there's much special about them. They're catchy and they're good, but they're all basically the exact same catchy and the same way, the same good in the same way, all of every song on the last two albums. But their album from before that, called Oh My, was like a weird, like there's a bunch of weird songs on that album, and it was a risk for them to make that album the way that they did, and there really isn't even a crazy single on that album. Their album from before that was Counting Stars, right, which was enormous and huge, and then there's other songs, and then obviously their first album with Apologize and all that stuff, which I don't know the early history of that band that much. But then I was talking about Imagine Dragons, right? Both Imagine Dragons and One Republic are bands like this. And Imagine Dragons, their first album is really special. It's super special. It's amazing. And I know there was no man pushing that. I have a copy of their Continued Silence EP that I bought at their show when they played at a small venue in Omaha, Nebraska. And like they made those songs without the machine pushing them really, or they maybe a little bit, but then when that EP hits so big, they had full support of the machine. But then their second album, which is called Smoke and Mirrors, and if you guys haven't heard it yet, I would recommend checking that out. Especially even if you're one of those people that just hates Imagine Dragons for whatever reason, I think it's silly, but if you haven't listened to Smoke and Mirrors, I highly recommend looking into it because it's a special album, and they took so many crazy risks on that album and made so many weird decisions that I think that album's really special in certain ways. I don't think it's as good as their first album, but man, is it diverse and weird in very strange ways. And that album really influenced music moving forward, I think. You can hear all sorts of stuff in that I hear kind of in this and everything. And I don't know the ears of all these things, so I'm not saying anything's a direct correlation. Sorry, let's get back to 21 Pilots. After this album especially, the machine was there, right? And so I'm very curious to hear the next album. People have been saying that I'm going to like Trench the most, and so I'm very excited to do that next. So this idea of the machine behind them and all of this stuff, again, I'm not coming to any conclusions with this, and I don't know anything. Everybody watching this video knows more about 21 Pilots than I do. You all know that. But this band and this album have two songs that are over 2 billion plays, and Stressed Out is only 100 million plays away from reaching 3 billion. That's crazy. That is the highest echelon of music popularity that there is. And it's really interesting to me to look at it from that point of view and just think about what's actually happening behind the scenes, what's actually happening. And I am not trying to dismiss Joseph and Tyler, or Josh and Tyler at all, or anything like that. I do think they're phenomenal and awesome. And they have to put on a great show or people wouldn't go see them, and that makes them also a lot of money. So it's just interesting to think about. So that's that part of the conversation. And I want to say that in regards to that and the tightness of this whole album, I feel like I like the first half of this album more, which I said earlier, and it kind of makes me a bit of a basic Bob because that's all of their big songs. But like Stressed Out and Ride are great. I still think Ride is better than Stressed Out. Heavydirtsoul is a weird song to have at the beginning of the album, and Tyler said in the commentary for Vessel that the first track on Vessel, which was Ode to Sleep, which I had to cut the music out of the video from the Vessel video, and that was maybe my favorite song on that album. I loved the synths and the more industrial parts of it and the sort of heaviness of it. Loved that song. But that he said in the commentary that song was a representation of the album as a whole, kind of letting you know what you're going to get into throughout the album. Heavydirtsoul is one of the least interesting sounding songs to me on this album. I don't think it was produced super well. It sounds really weak and thin, especially because the two best sounding songs on the album come right after it. So I don't think that that's a good album intro. And I don't think starting it with Stressed Out or Ride would be that good, but I almost wish there was like an actual intro to the album, like a little instrumental part or something, or have Heavydirtsoul and then an instrumental part or something after that to just separate it from Stressed Out. I don't know. The track listing on this album, the track, like the numbering, the track, the running, I guess, the track listing or whatever, the tracking. the order that the songs are in is kind of interesting to me. I feel like you could maybe move the songs around and it might be a little bit more balanced feeling, because I do see, to me, that the first half is front loaded. And one of the things I did notice is that there's not very much like bass guitar used in the first half of the album as much. There are certain moments where it stands out, but what they're doing on those songs, and I think one of the reasons that some of those songs sound so fantastic is they are having the low frequencies of the song being carried by the drums and then maybe a couple of synths and things. And then during the choruses or the bigger parts, more things come in, but it's not necessarily a defined bass part, just sort of low rumbling frequencies underneath to make everything sound bigger. But the drums sound so fantastic because there's no bass or any other really low frequency sounds that are competing with those frequencies. So the drums feel like these big, massive things. And I love that. That feels more hip hop to me. It feels like there's a lot of hip hop music that doesn't even have a bass in it at all. It's just a sample that's like looped and replayed with drum samples and things over the top of it. And that's so cool. I love that. Trip hop is sort of the same way. And so I like that aspect of it. But then as you go through the album, I feel like they had a bit more of a band sound. You know, on the first couple songs, I mentioned at the beginning there that the drums were recorded kind of mono, and you just pan them wherever you go. It's the way the Black Keys record their drums. But as you go further down the album, you hit a point, I think, with either, I don't think might have been Fairly Local, but Lane Boy for sure, where the drums sound like stereo drums in a space, and everything is panned where it's supposed to be. And then they do have shakers and extra hi-hats and electronic things and mixed in with it. But it sounds more like a rock band performing a song. Speaking of rock, though, this does not really sound like a rock album, you know, to me. And I don't remember if I said this earlier in the part of the video that I skipped or not, but one of the big conversations I had with myself yesterday was, would I consider 21 Pilots to be rock music or electronic music? And I think that that's a really interesting and fun discussion, and I'm not going to go into that because I can't remember if I said it before we started listening or not. So I'll just leave that to you guys. Like, let me know in the comments. Do you I know they're listed as like alt rock, whatever that means. But like, do you consider 21 Pilots to be electronic? I was fighting with it quite a bit yesterday. I don't know if I do or not. But then I listened to the album. Maybe I did say it beforehand. Because then I listened to the album and there's very little guitar on the album at all. Noticeable, discernible guitar, right? Not that a guitar makes a rock band, but I do kind of feel like that's one of the elements. And I do feel like there's a lot of played drums on this album, but the drums are also performed and sound more like samples and things like that rather than actual drums, but there's a lot of real drums on the album too. And I feel like drums are one of the most important things that differentiates between electronic and rock music. But I'm not going to get into that. We can discuss that maybe more in the next video. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. So I do think that the first half is a little bit better. My favorite songs on this album, for sure, are Fairly Local destroyed me. Like, it just destroyed me, and I wish you could have seen my face in that reaction. The whole reason I didn't just listen to the whole thing again right now like that was because I wanted you to hear my genuine, honest, freaking out reaction to Fairly Local. And when I said at the end of that song that I almost had tears in my eyes, I looked at the camera, and you could see my eyes were wet. It was like so flippin' awesome that I was overcome with how amazing it was. It really, truly is, in my opinion, my favorite song I've heard from them by miles. And I look at the plays, and it's like one of the least played songs on the album. So that's crazy. But to me, that song really spoke to me. I think the whoa, 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 whoa thing was so cool. Makes me wish there was a metal band that did a cover of it. Maybe there is, but then Tear in My Heart was so great. I liked that one. I almost think I like Tear in My Heart more than Stressed Out, but Stressed Out and Ride are just so catchy, so great. You know, just, I mean, oh, so neat. And then I like Hometown, right? I explained that way better in this video than I did yesterday. I was just enjoying it, but I could spend a little time explaining why I liked it. One of the things about this album that's interesting to me, and one of the reasons I do think that I like the first half a little better than the second, is because the first half feels a bit more intentional with what is happening in the songs. The choruses feel like much bigger, separate parts of the songs, or not even bigger. In Stressed Out, it goes down, right? Or No, that's Ride, where it comes down in feeling and in energy. The songs are clearly separated into very different sections, and I like that as a music listener. I prefer that almost, but so the first half of the album had more of that, I feel, and then the second half got into a bit more of like a hip hoppy feeling thing, where you have more of a sample based idea of structuring a song, and the chorus and the verse the chorus, the different sections of the songs don't feel very different from one another. They might feel a little bit different because there's different elements being added, but the delivery of Tyler's vocals are pretty much the same. And I specifically noticed today for Message Man and Polarize are the two good examples of that. But the chorus of those songs doesn't feel very different from the chorus, from the verses of those songs. The music is a little different, but it's not too different. The drums aren't as noticeably different in those sections. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that's a different way to approach the songs. And I prefer the more like differentiating parts within each individual song. And I noticed that they did that a bit more on this album specifically, where the music didn't change as much inside of the song. Every song is different from every other song, but within the song, the second half of the album I felt was a little bit more bland in that regard. There was less diversity on the second half of the album, even though the difference between Polarize or Message Man and We Don't Believe What's on TV was crazy. We Don't Believe What's on TV felt almost like a punky inspired song with no distortion whatsoever. And then you have that, there's like no distorted guitar on this at all, which is one of the other reasons it's hard for me to call it rock music. Not that you have to have distorted guitars in rock music, but it's interesting to think about. Well, hold on. This is one thing I did yesterday. I want to just go through real quick and play some samples of the songs to show you kind of what I'm talking about. So let's listen to the drums in Heavydirtsoul, right? Listen to these drums. And again, they're different. They're doing different things, but now let's listen to the drums in Stressed Out.
Some chords in an order
right? That is a different stratosphere. Now let's listen to the drums in Polarize. Right, it feels really contained and really small in the middle. Now the drums still feel small during the bigger part there, but let's check out Ride. I mean, Stressed Out is like crazy, but even Tear in My Heart. Big sounding, really nice. Message Man. So the drums feel a little bigger here. And then obviously Hometown, totally different. It's a different way to approach things. See, Doubt's cool and dark in the same way, kind of, that Fairly Local is. But Fairly Local is just cool. Oh. Oh, gosh. That's so epic and cool. So, I don't know. Hopefully you kind of get what I'm getting at there. And I don't want to seem negative on this at all. I know I've been explaining a lot of things and trying to word things better than I did yesterday, so I'm probably getting a little bit inside of my head. But I loved this album. I would say I do think I might like it more than Vessel, but I'm not sure. I have to listen to Vessel again. And I haven't been listening to 21 Pilots that much. I think I've mentioned in the other videos that I tend to not listen to things multiple times in a row. And so when I get done with these reactions, I edit the video and I listen to it, the whole album, a second time when I'm editing. And so I hear the album twice in a row within like a week or so when I edit them. And then I kind of just let it sit for a while. And so that's kind of what I'm doing with these. I listened to Breach a couple times last year to see if it made it into my top 12 list, but it didn't. And then I haven't listened to it since then. And, the songs that stick out to me on each of the albums are specific to their own albums, obviously. And so it'll be fun when I do that video, when I sort of go through and talk about them as a whole. I think that'll be a fun video. But I'm not quite sure how to do that or whatever. We'll get to that when we get to it. But we got some great albums yet to come. So, yeah. So I guess that's all this needs to be. Just understand, I'm super sorry that what happened. And I know you're probably all in the comments going like, oh, don't beat yourself up. It's not your fault. I mean, it is my fault technically, but I guess it also isn't because it's just technology and everything. But like, I said yesterday at the beginning of the video, I had a bad day, and then I was doing this reaction. I started doing this because I wanted to feel better. And I listened to the whole album and I felt great about it. And then I hit stop and it didn't stop. And my heart is racing now because when I'm done recording, I have to stop it now. And what if the same thing happens again? I can't even think about that or I'll puke. Not really, but like, you know what I mean. So like I listened to the album and I felt so great and I stopped it and my heart sank and I just didn't know what to do. And I tried for an hour to fix it and I realized that it was gone. And I just went and drove around for a bit. And then I came back and I felt terrible. Then and also yesterday in the middle of the day, I watched the whole Olympic ceremony, which is very emotional for me because I love the Olympics too. So I was just having I was very much in my feelings yesterday, which I'm not very usually in my feelings at all. I just leave them, in the back room. And so it was very hard for me to take this L. So I don't know, but I hope you guys still enjoyed this. I hope you're still looking forward to the remaining albums we have to listen to. Like I've said at the beginning of the video, go to our Discord, talk to me there. Let me know if you want me to do things differently. Let me know how everything's going, all that stuff. We've got a nice community there, and we have some people that have been going there saying, hey, I'm from the 21 Pilots videos. And I love to see that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for sticking with me through this very rough video. I have 3 outfit changes in this video. Thank you for letting me do this. I feel so much better now, but I just still feel devastated at what happened. So whatever. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for looking forward to the next one, hopefully. I will see you all next time.